What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. This week guys is a very defining week for The Road to Glory. I think a lot of you guys that have been watching this series this year specifically have been feeling this coming. Those of you that watch me on stream a lot will know exactly what we're discussing today. Those of you that engaged in the community tab post, which we're going to talk about in just a second, will know what we're talking about here today. But basically, it is the future of The Road to Glory again. I know it's been a hot topic. Funnily enough, one of the guys in stream was like, when you finally make a decision, at least we won't have to hear about this too much anymore. So first of all, I apologize in advance with the amount of just in limbo I've been this year. You know, as you guys well know, the game for me had big promise this year. I was excited with the inclusion of season objectives and milestones. I was very, very excited with what FIFA 20 was going to have to offer. And EA, for one reason or another, just haven't delivered specifically in this section here, right? It's just lackluster, to be kind. We are just about 4 months into the game cycle, so a third of the way through. We have minimal amounts of upgrade of milestones, and then with the upgrade opportunities, we don't know when, how, where, whys, the so ons and so forths. And it's been demoralizing me, and the whole Road to Glory tone has been something that has changed over the last few years. Since FIFA 17 and the inclusion of FUT Champs, the idea behind what a Road to Glory is or what a Road to Glory was has kind of changed. And the reason why that's changed is because back in the day, you used to be able to, you didn't used to be able to get many coins and such easily. It was very, very difficult to attain coins. And on stream the other night, I went back to my FIFA 16 Road to Glory, 17, 18, 19, and now 20. And year on year, it's got progressively easier to gain players and make coins. If we even just look at the good value cards and the earnable cards from this year, we are already looking at a decent team, right? And as much as that might be almost hypocritical in a sense, I'll explain in due course, right? But so you had Iniesta that you could play for. We'll ignore expensive SBCs and we'll take into consideration cheap SBCs. You had Ziyech, which you can play for, and he's obviously a quality card as well. I still need to get him. I've got a few more objectives to go. So Iniesta and Ziyech are already two players that you could earn, like literally fully earn. Scream PK and David Villa are two of the best SBC cards in terms of value in the game. If you didn't do those, though, we'll even ignore those. Ian Wright, I earned. Icons in general, you could earn. In spite of the fact that icon swaps typically is horrendous, you can still earn these cards. What else did we have? Cavani was a decent player for cheap. Now, Dzeko, Ozil, and Politano, all three of these are earnable cards and all very usable cards as well, even in today's market, in today's game. Perisic earned. Tagliafico's 86 Road to the Final card, or whatever it is, Team of the Tournament card, you earned. Jamie Vardy, one of the best cheap SBCs in the game. In fact, it was so good and so cheap that it completely crashed the market, which was obviously a great card. There's that Tagliafico. Danilo, which I earned. Acuna, which was one of the best value SBCs in the game, just flat out. Santi Cazorla, who we earned, and Boulaya, who we earned. Guardiola, who I earned. If we put together a team of literally just players that we picked up, Vasquez in there as well, Aguirre Garay from League SBCs. There's that Boulaya. Joshua King was another player that you earned. Roussillon, another player that you earned. Pookie, another extremely cheap SBC. Jonathan, a cheap SBC as well. And Babu, another player that you earned. And then a couple of League SBC cards like Tonali and Battaglia, who are both brilliant. Gabamin and Thiago Mendes, two more players that you earned. I think you guys get the picture, right? Even if you didn't spend time, money, or energy in SBCs or anything, you can earn yourself a great squad, right? And so the problem with it isn't like the problem is it's very, very easy to earn a squad, to earn a squad that you can play with. Right, and why that's slightly hypocritical is because it goes back to that whole 95% team versus 100% team, right? To get to a 95% team, it's very easy. Back in FIFA 16, you couldn't earn all these players. Even in FIFA 19, we had nowhere near this level of players that were earnable and achievable through nothing other than playing the game. Not playing the menus, not playing champs for rewards, literally just playing the game to earn these cards. And so kudos to EA for that regard. You know, the milestone players are there and so on and so forth. And there's been some absolutely banging SBC value players as well. The problem is once you get those earnable cards, you get stuck at a point where your team only moves sideways and never upwards. You know, you get stuck with an Acuna, and then the next upgrade, with respect, is Hullet, you know, or Prime Ballack or Prime Mateus or someone like that. And the issue becomes that this year, it's far, far, far too difficult for me personally. I know some creators can get there, but for me personally, it's far too difficult to get to that next stage, to get to the Team of the Years and the Prime Icon moments and the Prime Icons and such. And with what the Road to Glory for me used to represent, is it used to represent showing people, specifically in FIFA 16 and then FIFA 17, and like, you know, who didn't have too much time on the game and didn't have money to spend on the game, how to still make affordable, achievable teams that could compete. And that's how, in turn, like something like the best team in FIFA was born. You know, I used to take people's 10k teams or 20k teams, play with them in Division 1, win Division 1, and show, hey, you don't need that, you know, that Team of the Year team or the team with all these informs and stuff in your squad to be able to compete. I just shown you guys you can actually win with these players. And then we started figuring out who the overpowered, low-rated players were. You know, what was it, FIFA 17, Chris Smalling, 84 rated Chris Smalling was still in pro players teams in the very final competitive tournament at the very end of the year. That's how overpowered he was. And it's changed so much now that if you want a good squad, a great squad, should I say, you need either lots of time or lots of money. And when you talk about needing lots of time, you also need lots of knowledge on how to manipulate and work the game in the market to your favor so that you can make the lots of coins to get to that stage, or you just need to spam FIFA points and open packs to be able to get the best players. To get to a team, even with this team that that's on the screen right here, maybe exclude De Bruyne and maybe exclude Jordi Alba, but the rest of this team, anyone can get this. And so the essence of why I created a Road to Glory, which was to show people how to make the best of limited time, has gone out the window, because now what people want to see is just what you can do with maximum time but minimum money, or no money, right? But maximum time. And it's very, very easy, very, very easy to get to a point where you can show off and showcase an amazing team in very quick time and be like, hey, this is the kind of stuff you can achieve if you just play the game smartly, right? And so it kind of just lost its essence. So I put a post up, I've been talking about it on stream, and I've been murmuring about it for probably a couple of months on here, but I put a post up on the community tab, which got 30,000 votes, and is still available to vote if you just go to the community tab. And the post is me basically giving two options of where I want to go. And I haven't, still to this right now, I haven't decided, because I want your guys' input, and so the comment section for this video would be massively important. But basically, I'm losing my love for creating the content on the Road to Glory. I get very envious of the people that are able to just play with full Team of the Year squads. I get very envious of people that, like Bateson and Castro, that are able to just build any fun squad they want and take it into the first 5 or 8 games of Foot Champs, and then go into their main squad to try and like grind out big wins and stuff like that and big results. And it's frustrating for me as a content creator, with all the tools available to me, to be on an account where I'm limited and restricted. And I want to play with fun squads. I want to do player reviews. That Eden Hazard, I don't want to sit here grinding for him for the next week and a half, and then get him and then be like, hey guys, I've got Eden Hazard, when people just generally don't care. I want to get him today and be like, all right, let's take him in Foot Champs this week. Let's build a fun six squad around him and just have fun as much as we can with the game. And that in itself obviously causes some concerns, because how much fun can you have in a broken game? And that the gameplay is just another entity in itself. But I asked for the feedback, and the two options in a nutshell are as follows. On this channel, we'll carry on with the Road to Glory as normal, which I'm not opposed to, and I will get to the whys in a second, but we just carry on as normal. But I most likely upload the Road to Glory less, so that on days where there's no content or nothing happening, I'm going to fill that with different style of videos, which again we'll get to in a second. But it would mean we'll upload the Road to Glory probably 3 or 4 times a week instead of every day. And I won't be putting up any filler videos. So it will just be hopefully quality content, just much less of it. And that's literally option one, and then the byproduct will come in a second. Option two is that I start spending FIFA points on this account. Bear with me. And I get this account built up to where I have everything, and I can do anything at any time, enjoy whatever player I want, open as many packs as I want, build as many upgrades as we want to try and get the best players, and so on and so forth. And with that, it will allow us to be able to create fun teams and fun squads for fun content. Now, the argument is, why not just not spend FIFA points on this account and do that on your main account instead? And so I already spent FIFA points on my main account. And obviously, when I talked about this before, people would say to me, why would you spend FIFA points on this account? Don't give EA your money. You know, it's not worth it. They're winning. But I already give EA my money on my pay to win account. And that account would just drop off the face of the earth if I started spending FIFA points on here. But I wouldn't just be spending FIFA points willy-nilly. I wouldn't just be buying every promo pack that comes out or anything. It would be a case of us doing, like, maximizing the profit from FIFA points. So we'd be opening 50-point silver packs and 100-point gold packs, selling all the items on, and trying to build up a big coin base in a big club so that any SBC that comes out, we'll complete it. Any promo that comes out, we can play with and have fun with any team. You know, if a new player comes out like that Shah, we'll just get him, bang him in a team, go and play 5 games, and then I can give you a better indication of, is this card worth it for you? Is he worth 100k? Was he noticeable? Was he trash? Like, instead of me just looking at his stats and saying he looks okay compared to this guy and that guy, and that's my opinion, we could create a lot more content. But of course I could create that content on my main account as well, my pay to win account. I like, me personally, I just like the idea of having everything combined into one account. So if we decide that we're going to efficiently spend FIFA points on this account, it will still mean that this account gets played with every day. It will mean, in terms of the channel and the content creation, my main channel will have Draft to Glory and the live 6 p.m. content on it. And this second account will have not the Road to Glory, but it will have me still grinding an account and showing you guys everything that I do on the account, just while spending FIFA points. All very similar to A&I Skills, you know, Rich Man's Road to Glory and Nick's Rich Man's Road to Glory from earlier. The drawbacks for me is that once I put even 100 FIFA points onto this account, I lose everything that I've worked for, and it loses the credit. You know, it just immediately, like, loses that interest. And so that's why I want your guys' feedback, because I think people seem to think that I was more geared towards option 2 of putting FIFA points on, having everything, making all the fun content. But I am also drawn towards option 1, and that's where we're coming back to what we would do in the off times. So for me to be able to make the most out of this and actually get those Team of the Year players and be able to pick up the coins where I can have 99 Ronaldo, 96 Mbappe, and all of those players that we put into that dream team that we built, I would have to start going unassigned. It's the easiest way to make the most coins for the less effort, right? The reason why I never go unassigned right now is because once I do, I can't create content to a degree. You know, I can't open bronze packs. I can't open packs if a promo's in the game, like we're about to get the headliners promo. If I was unassigned right now and packs came out, I've got 5 packs in a store, I wouldn't be able to open them because I'd be unassigned. I'd have to just wait around and see what happens. If we decide to stay on this account and just limit the amount of videos that we put out so that we're only putting out content that's genuinely good on the Road to Glory, not that the content I put out anyway is bad, it's just not as great as it could be. What would happen is I would end up going unassigned, maybe even for a week. And during that off week, we would start building mini-series. So we would do the bronze pack to glory over a week period. We'll do the SBC to glory. We'll do the pack only, not pack only. We'll do a how many coins do you get from 12,000 FIFA points of opening gold packs. We'd do those mini-series to still show people how much you can get from doing things with time versus doing things with money. It would just be on a brand new account on 0 games, 0 draws, 0 wins, 0 losses, etc. Instead of doing that exact same content, but on this account. So basically, the 2 choices are this. The content on this channel is pretty much going to change regardless, and where you guys' opinion comes in is how you want it to change based on your attachment to this account. Number 1, we leave the Road to Glory as it is. We upload a lot less on this account, on this channel, the Road to Glory specifically, and we start uploading a few videos from the pay to win account where we are having fun with big teams, big players, player reviews, pack openings and things like that. Or number 2, we upload the Road to Glory style a lot less of grinding for the players, building squad builders and things like that. But we start spending FIFA points on the account, and we still implement the whole squad builders and stuff, but it's all on this one account. I hope that came across like clear and easy to see, and easy to understand. But the bottom line is I've played on a poor man's Road to Glory account for 4 years in a row now. And the only experience I've been able to have with the top tier players is either at the very end of the game cycle when Team of the Season comes out and everything crashes in price, or through draft. And this year in draft, for whatever reason, EA have made it nigh on impossible to get the Team of the Year cards. And so I don't get my fix of being able to use 99 Ronaldo and 99 Messi and, you know, Kylian Mbappe's Team of the Year card in draft, because they just don't show up. And I've done about 40 to 50 drafts now since Team of the Year came out, and I've probably got in total about 8 Team of the Years. And I don't have any. I have Mane once, none of the other attackers. I've had Kante once and De Jong once, never De Bruyne, and then I've had Trent a fair few times, Alisson once or twice, and Robertson once. And it's like this. I want to enjoy this game. You know, like for me, content was always about producing things that cater to a few different types. Number one, making sure I educate people with the best practices within the game so that they can get the most out of it with giving the least to EA. I think that's very important, and that's something that I pride my series on, due to the fact that, you know, I have truly showed people that with limited resources, limited time, no money at all, you can have everything. Number two, it has to be fun. I enjoy playing the game, and right now, you know, I'm playing with this weird team, this odd bod team. It's an objective team, so it makes sense. But I am playing with this odd bod team in Rivals to try and get this ZH card, and it's just not enjoyable at all. You know, you're about to see some games from me in a second. We're going to go into some gameplay, and in that gameplay, you see 3 draws and 1 loss. And in all 3 of those draws, the fact that I'm using these low tier players, you know, this Promes and this Malin card, it just destroys levels of fun that you could have, due to the fact that these cards just don't compete with the level of player and the level of card that I was coming up against. So, you know, I'm very envious of those that just have the free access to play with all the players. And I know the argument to that is you can play with those players on your pay to win account, no problem. But what I feel like that is I feel like that's a waste of time. You know, before 2 years ago, in FIFA 17 and FIFA 18, the Draft of Glory used to get run on an entirely separate account to show people, if, you know, just through playing draft and only draft, you can make coins without trading, without playing champs, without playing rivals, without playing tournaments or daily knockout. Just through playing draft, you can sustain an account quite comfortably. I wanted to show people that. After a year where I did Draft to Glory on a separate account and I had like 3 million coins at the end of it, I was sitting there thinking, man, what an idiot. Like, why not have those 3 million coins on my Road to Glory and run the 2 series together? I'm at that same point with the pay to win and the free to play. Because it's so easy to attain that 95% squad, I can show that free to play straight away, early days. Here, guys, here's 2 months or 3 months of me playing free to play. This is how you can build up your club and get yourself to a point where you can just take off however you want, you know, go unassigned, bronze pack method, icon flipping, whatever it may be for you, you know, consumables trading, whatever it may be for you to make your coins, but show you the methods and then for you to apply them. And then in the meantime, have all the benefits of having the monster squad. That feels like the logical choice going forwards. But I am open and willing to hear your guys' opinions. The only thing I will say that will change is that the content styles will change on the channel, regardless of whether we choose to keep the Road to Glory as a Road to Glory and add pay to win account videos to this channel, or whether or not we decide to make this a pay to win account and just do everything for both channels on one centralized account. The content on this channel will change. I hope for the better. If it goes wrong, all we'll do, let's say we choose option 1 and it goes wrong, we'll just go back to the way it was. We'll go back to uploading the Road to Glory 7 days a week. We tried an experiment, we failed, no problem. If it goes wrong and we go for a FIFA point account and it's like, okay, this isn't what I thought it would be, this isn't what you guys thought it would be, it kind of just fell apart and didn't really work out, we'll just start again. We'll start a pack only Road to Glory, start from fresh and give it another shot. But if it goes right, which is where my mind thinks it will go, whichever option we choose, I will be providing better, more entertaining, more enjoyable content at a level of stress that is far lower for me. And just to bring in the top comment from the community tab before we get into the gameplay and a few other comments, when I talked about this, the top comment, and there was loads of responses and loads of discussion in there, which was really positive to see. But the top comment is from Dolphin, and it's got 1.3k likes. It's got more likes than the actual my actual post itself. He says, I only want option 2 if you're going to play all 30 games of Foot Champs and try for top 100 or Elite 1. If not, I prefer option 1, as I'm still in love with the idea of a true and Road to Glory would like to see my favourite content creators grind. And I get that. And I feel like, and maybe I'm just kidding myself, again, this is where it comes down to gameplay, but I feel like if I was playing with the best possible players in this game, that I would want to play 30 games of FIFA and try my best to advance and enhance myself, because I can do everything more comfortably. You know, I'm not sitting there using a Guardiola in Division 3 or like 14, 15, wait, what am I at, 17 or 1800 skill rating. I'm using a Rude Hullet whilst trying to get this ZH, and it will just be more enjoyable to play with. So that's where we're at. Let me know what you guys think. We're going to now jump into some gameplay. I think, as I say, there's 4 games here. I'm going to take some comments from yesterday's video, and I really look forward to what you guys have to say. All right, guys, as we go into the gameplay, once again, you know, apologies, I suppose. It can't be fun to watch somebody just be indecisive for like 2 months on what they want to do. So, yeah, I know it's been a bit of a weird one, but we've got some comments. First one is from Jake Wallace. He says, De Bruyne won't work as a midfielder as his current position in your team as a striker. I use Vardy as a cam to do the objective. If that helps, keep up the great work. The whole system is bugged. I remember way back when we started doing some of the objectives that required scoring with a certain position, and my left midfielder counted, but my right midfielder didn't, even though they both came out of packs as a left mid and a right mid, and were both starting in the 4-4-2 or something like that as a left mid and a right mid. In what you say, De Bruyne won't work because he's a striker in the team, and Vardy works because he's a cam in the team. There's also another comment in the comment section that says De Bruyne is not working even though he comes out as a cam. He is a cam in the guy's team and he starts as a cam. He's still not counting towards the objectives. So the whole objective system is pretty bugged in that regard. For my team and for what I've got, it's not a problem for me. I already have 10 out of the 12 midfield goals, and I still need 3 wins while scoring with Eredivisie players. So I'm going to be able to complete that setup like before I need to worry about actually forcing goals through midfielders. So I'm happy to just continue playing exactly how I play, basically. The next comment is from, if it loads up, it didn't load up, cool. So the next comment is from Satho. He says, can or will you do that skill move tutorial video in the near future? I will. I've actually got quite a few videos on the list, and going back to what we were talking about in terms of putting new content on this channel, using this and utilizing the right skill moves and why they work and how they work is definitely something that I want to bring on to this channel. You know, it's on a list of videos that I've got that I want to start making. Team of the Year just threw me through a loop. You know, we spent so much time in Team of the Year. We really did put a lot into Team of the Year. And so now that it's finished, even though Headliner starts tomorrow, I'm going to be able to start dedicating a bit more time towards doing some of the fun concept videos that I really wanted to get done. Willie the Bar says, hey Nepo, what are your thoughts on flashback David Luiz? I might want to try him out. I like him a lot. Obviously, he was expensive to do if you didn't do him via using Premier League upgrade packs. You know, 500,000 coins for him is not cheap. But I like him a lot. I think it's fair to say he's probably one of the best centre-backs I've used this year. You know, it's weird how I get caught up on players, right? And this is definitely my problem with a lot of things, you know. I got caught up on that Varane PK setup because I love screen PK, right? And so I'm not even, like, even when building like my dream team and putting Van Dijk in there and Trent and stuff, I'm still sitting there like, oh, but I really do love PK. When you use David Luiz and then you use that screen PK, yes, PK is good, but he's not great. He's not as good as I thought he was. Now that I've put somebody else in that position, and that again lends into why I'm really excited to just try out new players and have new things in this account, or whether we use a pay-to-win account, because I will find new players that I could say, oh, I didn't think this guy would be this good, and it actually makes me feel like this guy that I was using before that I thought was amazing is not quite as good, and it will just allow me to just have a little bit more freedom with understanding how and why certain players work and certain players don't, you know. So yeah, I think flashback David Luiz is brilliant. I know he's there for a long time still. He was put there for like what, 20 days or whatever. If you have a team that you can slot him straight into, whether that's a Premier League team or whether you have icons or whatever you have to fit him in there, even if you get him on 8 chemistry, just linking him to, you know, a Brazilian left back or a Brazilian midfielder or whatever, I think he's worth it for 100%. He is a brilliant card, and yeah, I highly recommend him. The next comment, the comment that I couldn't find that didn't come up was actually talking about Donny Malen. Somebody saying that they love him, they still use him. They have like 150 goals in 180 games, and there was somebody else that said that they love him and they have like over 700 or 800 goals in 700 games or something. And if you guys are enjoying a card, that's brilliant for you. But for me, a card like Malen really shows how the power curve of FIFA changes, and you never really feel it change until it's at that point where that player that used to do bits for you just falls off the face of the earth. When we first packed that Donny Malen, he was sensational back in the early stages of this game, because you were coming up against players like Harry Maguire or I don't even know, just whatever basic Premier League centre-backs that you had available. Davinson Sanchez, although he was probably too expensive. You know, whatever the cheaper, you know, Anthony Rudiger, and you was coming up against, you know, like Seamus Coleman at right back and stuff like that. The pace and shooting ability of Malen and players like Pukki and stuff, you know, you were like, holy crap, these guys are insane. Like, this Malen card's insane. He's got the 4-star, he's rapid, he's got good finishing. Now that you're coming up against flashback David Luiz and icon centre-backs, icon Ferdinand or Hierro, and you're coming up against like screen PKs, and now you're coming up against like big Van Dijk cards and stuff like that, you realise just how poor he is as a card. And it's just like, man, he gets bullied off the ball. He's like, you know, his shooting isn't all that. Like, I've missed some sitters with him in these games, and it really just does get to a point where you're like, wow, the power curve has changed massively, and I didn't even realise, because keeping up with the power curve is so difficult in this game unless you spend money. And then last but not least, Matthew says, honestly love your vids, Nep, but in this video I had one issue where you said you wanted no promos for a month, yet the video before you said the game lacks content. I genuinely love that EA bring all these promos because it gives people a reason to play at the moment of how terrible the gameplay is. It's the only reason I'm still playing. So I think ultimately it's a fair assessment. I think ultimately we just have different ideas on what a promo is and what content is. For me, a promo isn't content. A promo is EA just trying to make money, trying to sell packs, putting shiny cards in packs to try and sell them. I want content to play for. I want milestones and objectives that are there in spite of promos. You know, I don't care if we get promo once a month, if we get a a milestone every second day. You know, that for me is the content that I want, and I personally wouldn't assign promos and content as being one in the same. Although there are instances where a promo provides content, I don't think they're exactly the same thing. But that, guys, is going to be the end of the video for today. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, rate, and comment, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.